What's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today, I am sat here with Ashlyn Haddon from Ashlyn Haddon Insurance, and we are going to talk about something traditionally very unsexy, but we're going to make it a little sexier today. We're going to be talking about insurance, the requirements, why we need it, and why it can actually be a really good thing. So before we do so, I just want to give you a quick backstory on what my relationship and experience has been with her and her team. So years ago, when we first started selling, we hit our first $10,000 in sales. We got the email notification from Amazon that you will get, if you have not yet, that you now require insurance. As Canadians selling on the US market and the Canadian market, we had no idea where to go, what to do. So we were referred over to Ashlyn and her firm. And let me tell you, they have been incredible. We got a quote with them. We got quotes through other vendors. They were the most price competitive, but honestly also had the best experience I've probably ever had whenever it comes to dealing with insurance. And if you are like me and you've had experience dealing with insuring houses, cars, etc., it's not always the best process. It can feel very probing and uncomfortable, but her and her team were absolute pros about it, made it super easy, simple, got it in place. And it's something that we haven't had to honestly think about a whole lot, which is the nice thing and you really want about insurance. So they've been fantastic. Ashlyn, thanks you so much for donating some of your time here today to speak about insurance and make it a little bit sexier. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you. That was an amazing introduction. I couldn't have done better myself. You guys have been an absolute joy to work with. So thank you. A little bit about me and my agency. I have 16 women who work for the firm. We are based in Indiana, but licensed in every state and have contacts throughout the country. We do our bread and butter is e-commerce. We live and breathe Amazon insurance and everything that goes along with that, growing from people who are just starting out as resellers, growing to private label. We have clients who haven't even sold $1 yet to clients who've sold $100 million. So we're very versed from the littles to the bigs. So thanks for having us on today.
Yeah, absolutely. So I wanted to get into it a little bit because, again, I know you guys are pros. I know that there's probably a lot of questions that come around insurance as well. And I think the big thing is people want to know that they have the insurance that they need, but aren't over insuring or overpaying for it. This is something that I hear in the communities all the time of, certain people paying way different premiums and rates than other people and a lot of confusion around it. So
Yeah.
if we're talking about Amazon specifically, can you just talk a little bit about like what maybe the mandated insurances are, if there's a difference between the insurance that you'd need if you're selling different types of products and different methods of selling, as well as is there any kind of recommended levels of insurance that you should have that are above and beyond just the base minimum?
Yeah. Good questions. So there's a lot in that question that I want to address. So we're going to address the cost issues and what's required. So first of all, what's required? So if you're selling on Amazon, when you signed that terms of service, it says in the terms of service that you have insurance and that you will continue to keep insurance. So as soon as you sign that form, you already told Amazon you had it. Now, Amazon doesn't police it until you hit that $10,000 mark. But you absolutely still should have it from the very first time you sell a product. It should be in place before you sell your first product, so your first product is covered. And what Amazon requires you to have is the general liability and product liability. So that's going to be what you do or say as a business or what your products do to harm someone else. So let me break those down. So what you do or say. So let me say I'm selling this Sugar Bomb chapstick. And I put on the listing or I hop on someone else's listing that this chapstick's going to make your lips look voluptuous and sexy. And I don't think it does. Then I can sue you for false advertisement. That's general liability. Then if I put this lipstick on and I break out and my lips burst and I get all these reactions, that's product liability. So they want you to have general liability and product liability. So that's what's required. Now, the The other point that you brought up is the cost and how there's confusion around the cost. And I totally understand why there's confusion, because as an insurance agent, it's confusing to us sometimes too. But unless everyone sells the exact same product, sourced from the exact same location, and you have the exact same sales, no two people are going to be alike. Just like auto insurance, I could have somebody paying $300 a month for auto insurance. I could have someone paying $700 a month because there's different risks. So you got to look at what you're selling, where you're sourcing from, how much you're selling, and it all fluctuates. So we underwrite every single policy and look at what you're selling. So let's say I'm selling fidget spinners with knives on the end of it, and Mike, you sell toothbrushes. Who do you think is going to be more expensive? Right?
Yeah, I would imagine knives are a little bit more of a liability.
And let's say we're selling in both the same category. So we're both selling in the knife category. But you sell a kitchen knife and I sell a throwing star or whatever those things are called, that, like a
Yep.
hatchet, whatever those called. I'm going to be more expensive. So even though you're selling in the same category, you absolutely could have different prices.
Totally makes sense. Yeah. So it's more of kind of the risk profile then.
Right. And if you're
Got it.
selling just on .com versus .com and .ca, or if you're just selling in .ca, not .com, where are you located? Where are you based? Where are you sourcing those from? So I hate to say it, but stop comparing your price to someone else's price, because it is never going to be the same.
Right. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. And that's why it's so important to have somebody on your team, on your side, to be able to help you navigate that, because it can be complex, right?
Yeah.
And the products you sell can be different and have different risk profiles. So, I mean, that makes total sense. Another thing that I was super curious to know about is, what's new in insurance? What
Yeah.
changes have there been since, maybe when I started 5 or 6 years ago? Has there been any developments? And then also
Yeah.
with your agency, what's new and exciting on your end?
What's changing in the industry is, of course, pricing, just like auto insurance and homeowners insurance, and everything is going up. 5 years ago, 6 years ago, when we started in this crazy Amazon space, the insurance carriers didn't really know much. So this was a new classification for them. There wasn't that actuarial data to support it. So prices were really, really low. Now those prices started to creep up. But over the last couple of years, with this whole crazy COVID stuff, people are suing more. And I hate to say it, when the economy is down, people sue more because everyone's looking to get rich quick. So we're seeing more and more claims coming from the online side of things, because I think people forget that there's people behind an Amazon store. They think it's big bad Amazon and they've got billions and billions of dollars to share, and they're going to sue and they're going to get a couple $100,000 and be done. But what they don't know is there's a Mike behind that storefront who is sourcing and supporting his family. They don't make that connection. So claims have risen, experientially, like just tons more. So when claims go up, prices go up. So we are seeing a lot of carriers that are doubling premiums. We had clients come in at $450 that are now seeing an $800-900 policy. Unfortunately, isn't anything they've done. It's just the fact that more people are submitting claims, and now they have more data, and that data is supporting those price increases. So that's really why it's important to work with like a brokerage firm like ours, where if the price goes up, we can shop it for you. We have 50 some carriers that we can shop for you. And maybe the answer is stay where you're at, because this is still the best price. Even though it's double, it's still the best price out there. Or maybe it's like, hey, we move you from this company to this company. And then we get to stay together.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. So what I'm hearing then is it's really important that you have somebody that can not only just help you shop prices, but also understands your business so
Yeah.
that they can place you appropriately. Whereas if you have somebody who maybe doesn't understand the business, you could actually end up with a much higher premium. So
And not
yeah.
even a higher premium. Like, we're seeing customers who come over and say, oh, well, I got a quote from XYZ company. I won't mention the name. And it's $25 a month where your policy's $40 a month. So I'm just going to go with them. And we'll say, hey, because we get copies of the policies, we write for some of these companies too, go to page 147 and look at the exclusions. They exclude baby products. They exclude products that are imported. They exclude anything ingestible. Well, your whole entire store is baby food. So you're paying for a policy you will never be able to use. So just having the best price, but it's making sure that you have the coverage for what you're doing as an online retailer. Like if
Right.
you're selling baby products, for darn sure you want baby products covered, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really important too, right? And people don't think about this because they don't want to use insurance. But if you
We don't
need
want you to use
to,
it either,
yeah,
but we want you to have it when you're ready to use it.
absolutely, absolutely. And then there'd be nothing worse than paying for something that you can't actually use. I couldn't imagine being in that situation. So that's a super important call out as well. I know that we do have a bit of an international audience. Certainly, like a lot of us from the EBB project are from Canada. We have some in the US, and I know we're going to have people talking from, or people tuning in rather, from both sides of the border. So do you have support in both US and Canada? What does that look like for you guys?
Yeah, it changes daily. Products and appetites change all the time. Sometimes carriers will say, "Hey, tomorrow we're not going to do this anymore." But yes, we do have relationships with carriers all over the company or all over the country. You might not like the price, but we hardly ever tell somebody no, we can't help.
Yeah. Yeah, totally makes sense. I know that I mentioned that I was able to get a couple of quotes whenever we first started, and man, was it hard,
Yeah.
right? Especially when we first started, there was almost nobody that was willing to take on insurance policy, even let alone, looking at prices and things like that for Canadians selling in the US, right? It's like whenever we try to do something across the border, they just cannot comprehend and they're not willing. So we did get a couple of quotes. It was painstaking on some of the other quotes, but with you guys, it was simple, it was easy. And so I know for our first brand, Voyaj, we're in the process right now, because we just recently launched, of getting that insurance. So what I'm hearing today is we should have started that process earlier, but thankfully we have you guys in our corner, and we're working on getting those quotes now so we can make sure that we're fully covered in an event that we do need to use it down the line.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, Ashton, is there anything else that you wanted to share with our audience?
Yeah.
I would love to hear what's the best way that people can get a hold of you and take advantage of getting an insurance quote from your firm.
Yeah, I think the thing that I want to share most of the audience is the same kind of concept. Don't wait till the very end. Sometimes it takes us reaching out to 10 to 15 different carriers. So it's really hard to come in and say, hey, I need this tomorrow. Give us some time, and always ask questions. If you're in the planning stages and say, okay, I really want to sell this product. What do you think, Ashlyn? Reach out to the team, reach out to me. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok, email. I'm sure we'll list all of those out for you guys. Reach out and say, hey, Ashlyn, I'm really looking at this baby bib. I want a private label of this. What do you think? And we'll be honest with you. We'll say, absolutely not, stay away. Or, yeah, this is great. And it might cost you $7,500 a year. But don't wait too long, and don't go deep until you know how much the insurance is. I mean, we've had clients come in and had those like blow up pools for the backyard that, they just ordered 10,000 units of, and the price comes in at $40,000. And they're like, yeah, if you would have asked me first, I could have told you before you went 10,000 deep. So ask questions. Don't be shy. We're here to help. And how to reach us, like I said, our website, www.ecom.insure, so ecom.insure. You can find me on Facebook, Ashlyn D. Haddon. You can find our Facebook group, Ashlyn Haddon Insurance, on Facebook. You can always
Yeah,
call the office.
Amazing. So what we'll do is we'll grab all of those for you. We'll put it down in the description below so you guys can just go in and click those, copy and paste those. But if you are looking for insurance, but really if you're just selling online in general, you should have insurance. It's necessary and it's something that you absolutely will regret not having later.
Hmm.
So do get in touch, right? Get the quotes. Ashlyn has given us the best insurance experience that we've ever had, which is definitely saying something. So very much looking forward to catching up with you again on a future video. And thanks so much for your time today.
Thanks, guys.